Wait. Stop scrolling. I need you to pause for just a second, because what I'm about to tell you, what these cards are about to reveal, is something you need to hear today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because the universe has been trying to get your attention, and right now, in this very moment, it brought you here for a reason. So if you stumbled across this reading, if something made you click on this video, I want you to know that is not a coincidence. That was divine redirection. That was your higher self saying, pay attention. So settle in, take a breath, and let's get into it. Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome back. For those of you who are new here, my name is Juliet, and I am your tarot reader, your spiritual guide, and your biggest cheerleader on this journey. I do readings every single day on this channel, and I pour every bit of my energy and intuition into bringing you the messages that the universe wants you to receive. If this is your first time here, I want you to feel welcome. You found your way here for a reason, and I'm so glad you did. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, you already know what time it is. Before we get into this reading, I want to ask you to please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and show this reading some love if it resonates with you. I upload every single day, and there is always something powerful coming through for you. Okay? Now let's get into what the cards are saying, because baby, they are talking today. The very first thing I have to say to you, and I mean this with every ounce of energy I have, is that you are absolutely, undeniably, without question or affirming right now. And when I say that, I want you to really sit with it, because this is not just a compliment. This is a spiritual reality that the cards are confirming for you in a major, major way. You have this extraordinary ability to walk into a room, any room, it doesn't matter where, and the moment you step through that door, something shifts. The energy shifts. People look up. Heads turn. Conversations pause. And it's not because you're doing anything dramatic or trying to command attention. It's because your presence alone does the work. Your aura quite literally arrives before you do. It walks in ahead of you and announces you without you having to say a single word. That is a gift. That is a rare and powerful gift, and I want you to start recognizing it as such. People are drawn to you in a way that they can't always explain. They feel it on a gut level. They feel pulled toward you, curious about you, fascinated by you, wanting to understand what it is about you that feels so different, so magnetic, so alive. Some people will spend a lot of time trying to figure you out, and the truth is, they never fully will. Because what you carry cannot be replicated. It cannot be manufactured. It cannot be learned or faked or copied, and trust me, people have tried. We'll get into that in just a moment. When I laid out these cards, the message that came through loudest and clearest was this: I wish you knew how I feel about you. And what struck me immediately is that this is not just one person feeling this way about you. It is many. It is a collective of people in your orbit, some you know well, some you barely know, some you've only crossed paths with briefly, who are carrying feelings for you that they have never voiced out loud. As I continued pulling cards, I started seeing different physical descriptions coming through, and I want to be clear, I'm talking about hair colors, physical features, different types of people, redheads, blondes, brunettes, all kinds. And what that tells me is that your magnetic pull is not selective. You don't just attract one type of person. You draw in all kinds of people, from all walks of life, with all kinds of backgrounds and personalities. There is something about you that transcends type and transcends preference. When people encounter you, their usual standards tend to go out the window, because you become the standard. You are giving off this energy, this new kid on the block energy, if you will. Like the shiny new presence that no one was expecting but everyone is intrigued by. You know how it feels when someone shows up and suddenly they're all anyone can talk about? That's you. You're the new girl, the new guy, at the job, in the social circle, in the neighborhood, and people cannot stop talking about you, thinking about you, or wondering about you. And some of them will never even tell you. Now, as I was reading, 2 cards practically launched themselves out of the deck. The first was one confirming your aura, and the second said something I need to share with you directly, Goddess energy. That is not something I take lightly, and I don't want you to take it lightly either. When I say you rank high spiritually, I mean that on a soul level, you carry something ancient and elevated. People may not have the language for it. They may not be able to articulate why you feel different, why being around you feels like standing in a beam of sunlight, why your presence seems to carry weight and warmth and something almost otherworldly. But they feel it. Deeply. And it draws them in on a level that goes far beyond the physical or the superficial. You are the kind of person that others look up to, not necessarily because you've asked them to or because you've done anything to earn it in a conventional sense, but simply because of who you are. Who you are at your core is inspiring. Who you are at your core is rare. And the universe has been confirming this, because these cards do not lie. Now here's where things get really interesting, and maybe a little validating for some of you. Because what the cards are telling me is that people don't just admire you from a distance. They study you. And I mean that quite literally. They watch what you wear. They pay attention to how you carry yourself. They listen to the music you're into and then go listen to it themselves. They observe your mentality, the way you think, the way you process situations, the way you respond, and they try to model it. They try to adopt your language, your energy, your presence. You are a trendsetter. Whether you realize it or not, you are setting the tone. You are moving first, and others are following your lead, sometimes openly, sometimes quietly, sometimes without even being fully conscious of it themselves. People try to talk like you. They try to dress like you. They try to walk with the same confidence and ease that you carry, and the thing is, no matter how hard they try, they can't quite land it. Because what you have is not a style you picked up. It is an essence you were born with. And yes, some of those same people who are copying you are also going around claiming that you're copying them. I know. The audacity. But that's how you know you're truly the original. The copy always tries to flip the narrative to protect itself. Let me tell you something else the cards brought through, and this part is particularly significant. Among all these people who secretly admire you, a notable number of them are very comfortable financially. And their desire isn't just to be around you, it's to provide for you, to spoil you, to give you access to a lifestyle that matches the goddess energy you carry. They want to treat you like royalty. They want to buy you things, take you places, experience life with you in a way that feels abundant and luxurious. Some of you may have even had someone joke with you, "You're too pretty to work," or "You're too handsome to be doing all that." And yes, it was said as a compliment, but there's a deeper truth behind it. People recognize your value. People can sense that you are someone worth investing in, worth pursuing, worth showing off. There's something about you that reads as premium, as exclusive, as something you cannot just find anywhere. And I want you to sit with that, because sometimes we get so used to being seen as valuable by others that we forget to see that value in ourselves. Now I want to talk about a specific person, because the cards shifted into something really, really significant here. Among all of these admirers, All of these people drawn to you, there is one, and the cards describe this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is not someone ordinary. This is not a connection you've felt 100 times before. This is a soul-level connection, a divine appointment. And the beautiful thing about it? You will know. The moment you encounter this person, whether it's for the first time or the first time in a new context, something in you is going to recognize them. It's going to feel like remembering rather than needing. Like picking up a conversation that was left unfinished. Because there's a very strong possibility that you have crossed paths with this soul in a previous lifetime. There is history between you that goes deeper than this current chapter of your life. This person may already be in your orbit right now, quietly observing you, watching how you move, waiting for the right moment to step forward. They may have already heard things about you, including the fact that you don't open up easily, that you don't fall for just anyone, and rather than being deterred by that, they are more intrigued. They're patient. They're strategic. They're willing to wait. And when they do come forward, they're going to come in a big way. This is someone who wants to propose to you. This is someone whose love language is generosity, not because they're trying to buy your affection, but because they genuinely want you to feel cared for in every dimension, including the material one. They want you comfortable. They want you provided for. They want you to never have to worry. For some of you, this person could work in jewelry, they might own a store or have some connection to that world, which is poetic given everything else I'm seeing. For others, they may be in mechanics, construction, a hands-on field, someone who's built what they have through their own effort and grit. What's consistent across all of you is this person is self-made, and they want to elevate you. The divine timing card also came through strongly here. This meeting, this union, it's not going to be forced. It's going to unfold exactly as it's meant to, at exactly the right moment. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to rush it. The universe has already written it. All you have to do is be open when the moment arrives. Now I want to talk about something a little more tender, a little more layered. Because while all of this love and admiration surrounds you, I'm also picking up something else, something that lives inside you, behind that radiant aura. And that is a wall. A very real, very deliberate emotional wall that you have built over time. And I need to talk about it, because it matters. For some of you, this resonates deeply. You carry what some would call a numb, cold heart, not because you are cruel, not because you are incapable of love, but because life has taught you to protect yourself. You learned, sometimes the hard way, that opening up comes with risk. You gave your heart freely at some point, maybe more than once, and people met that openness with carelessness. They took advantage. They misread your vulnerability as weakness, your warmth as naivety. And so, slowly, you learn to pull back, to control your emotions, to keep things close to the chest. And now people look at you and they see someone who is emotionally guarded, and they don't fully understand it. They mistake your distance for arrogance. They mistake your quiet observation for disinterest. They mistake your controlled energy for coldness or even cruelty. But that's not who you are. What they're seeing is armor. What they're encountering is a heart that has learned how to protect itself after being underestimated. The cards actually drew a comparison to the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords, someone who operates with precision and emotional intelligence, who doesn't let just anyone pass their defenses. And there is power in that. But I also want to acknowledge that it can be isolating. It can feel like no one truly sees you, because you've gotten so good at managing what you show them. What the cards want you to know is this: as your heart heals, new love will receive you. The guard doesn't have to stay up forever. And the right person, that divine connection we talked about, they will be someone who is patient enough to wait for you to let them in. Who is wise enough to know that what's behind that wall is worth every second of the wait. Here's another thing the universe wants to make very clear: people underestimate you. Significantly. They look at your warmth, your quiet, your mystery, and they think they've got you figured out. They assume you're unaware. They assume that because you don't broadcast your intelligence, you don't possess it. They think they can get one over on you. They think they're reading you when really, you've been reading them the whole time. You are, in the most powerful sense of the phrase, a wolf in sheep's clothing. You see things on a deeper level than most people realize. You pick up on energy, on subtle shifts, on things that haven't been said but are absolutely felt. You have an intuitive intelligence, almost a sixth sense, that allows you to understand people, situations, and dynamics in ways that most people simply don't have access to. And because you don't always show your cards, people make the mistake of thinking you're playing a simpler game than you are. And then the moment comes when they realize who they've been dealing with all along, and some of them feel embarrassed. Some of them feel foolish. Some of them feel a kind of quiet awe that they weren't prepared for. Because you revealed yourself on your own terms, in your own time, and by then the whole dynamic had shifted. People around you are sometimes in competition with you without even having the courage to admit it. They're watching your moves. They're studying your strategy. They're quietly trying to outpace you while pretending they don't care. But underneath all of that is a recognition, a deep, unavoidable recognition, that you are operating on a different level. And rather than celebrate that, some people let it make them jealous. Let it make them imitate. Let it make them small. That's not your burden to carry. That is their lesson to learn. And let me close out by saying this, because the cards were very clear and very deliberate about it: there are major blessings coming in for you. Big ones. Life-changing ones. The kind you've prayed for, the kind you've worked for, the kind that feel like the universe finally catching up to everything you've been putting out. In your career, in your personal life, in your love life, you are on the precipice of a breakthrough. Things that have felt stagnant or slow or frustrating are about to begin moving in ways you have been waiting for. The divine connection is drawing closer. The recognition you deserve professionally is on its way. The financial elevation, the personal growth, the love story, it's all converging. Believe in miracles. That was one of the final messages that came through, and I want you to hold on to it. Believe in the possibility that things can shift dramatically, quickly, and in your favor. Because for your collective, for everyone watching this, that is exactly what is being set in motion. You are rare. You are the kind of person people don't forget. You are someone who makes an impression simply by existing. And the universe knows it. The people around you know it, even the ones who can't bring themselves to say it out loud. So walk into your week with that. Walk into your life with that. Your aura is farming, your blessings are building, and your person is coming. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. And remember, you are exactly who you're meant to be. If this reading resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like so I know it landed. I'm Juliet, and I'll be back with more daily readings. The cards are always talking, make sure you're here to hear what they have to say. See you in the next one.